Welcome to the Hidden City Podcast. I'm Grant.
And I'm Doug, and we're here to share some of the incredible stories and people from Oak Cliff that you might not know.
We're going to sit down with some of the visionaries, craftsmen, and business owners who have shaped Oak Cliff into what it is today.
Oak Cliff is on the south bank of the Trinity River, a few miles south of downtown Dallas. While technically it was part of Dallas, it was its own city for a long time, and it still has that independent spirit.
We'll dive into the history and the spirit of this place, exploring the different challenges and successes that defined it.
This is The Hidden City, a podcast about the people and the stories that make Oak Cliff extraordinary.
Welcome to this episode of the Hidden City Podcast. We're back with another Texas Talk, and this is one of my favorite Texas Talks. This is from earlier this year. Twin brothers and multidisciplinary artists Ryan and Calvin Sprague. They're incredible artists. Fun fact, I actually had a piece of Calvin and Ryan's artwork in my home, and then I met them and have since become friends with them. They're really great people. They're both here in Oak Cliff. We have some of their work up here at Wax Space, and in this talk they just talk about how they got into the music poster design scene, and that kind of moved to them working for brands like Patagonia and Nike, the New York Times. And so it's just a really cool talk from some genuinely good people and talented artists. So hope you guys enjoy the show.
Thanks for that nice introduction, too.
I feel like we don't have to mention the clients now.
No. Good morning. Hope you guys are all awake and had your coffee. My name's Calvin.
And my name's Ryan. We're obviously twin brothers. We've kind of came into graphic design with a different approach. We didn't really have a lot of agency experience going into this. A lot of this kind of entailed just by certain hobbies that got us there. So we'll get a little bit more into that. But we've been doing graphic design, freelance stuff for probably almost 20 years now.
Yeah, I think 20 years. Yeah,
I've been able to.
Pretty
AI
crazy.
hasn't taken us out yet.
Some of the stuff we do ranges from murals to logos to merchandise, apparel, pretty much anything you think illustration can live on, like that's what we'll do. As Grant said, here's some of the clients we've been able to, and very fortunate to work with over the years.
Yeah, and this didn't get there all of a sudden. Obviously, there's a story that led to having these fortunate projects as kind of what we named our presentation, the unorthodox path. What we mean by that is, growing up, we played music together. We skateboarded together. We did all these hobbies. So we didn't get into this just by having agency experience.
No fancy schools.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of just figured it out. But, before we go into the work and stuff like that, I figured we'd tell you where it all started. And I think we have a picture right here that kind of sums it up. That's Ryan and I.
Isn't that hilarious? That was a thing.
I love
that's
that.
how people shot their pictures. And I'm looking at this now, 20 years later, I haven't even seen this. We just ran into it, we're like, we have to put this in there. Why does he have a baseball? And what am I looking into? I'm just, it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
But apparently, we had a vision.
We did. And so it started early on. We were both really creative people. We were fortunate to have our mother and father also being creative. So there was a lot of creativity in the house, whether it was drawing or coloring books, all sorts of things that
Drawing on walls.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So from that we also liked to skateboard. We liked collecting the decks. All the cool illustrations that were on the decks were part of the reason why we like skateboarding as well.
And also, when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are skateboarding, you're gonna want to skateboard too.
So from that, we also played sports together. All through Little League, playing soccer, baseball, And, unfortunately, we weren't like incredibly blessed with the athletic skills, so it didn't last that long. But, we had fun doing it. But, we were able to actually transition and moving on to being just big.
We were good
Texas
fans.
Rangers
We'll say that, yeah. We were better at being fans than playing.
Yes, thank you.
So much to where they had us on television, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. They see these two rascals just going nuts, ready to win that game.
Ryan's face says it all. The passion just is there.
I was locked in.
Yeah, that's funny. So, we always kind of done things together growing up. So from that, we went to playing music together. And from that chapter, we both, we played music, but we never thought we could be in a band. And, just being brothers, we were able to figure it out. He played drums, I played guitar.
Yeah, I think like when our mom asked us, well, what do you want to do growing up? Well, we want to be rock stars. We want to play a band and do the whole touring thing. And of course, she's just scratching her head. She's like, oh gosh, you can't be serious. And but that's what we wanted to do. And so doing that, Cal and I, had to figure out, okay, well, what does our band look like? Like, we need logos, we need flyers, we need t-shirt designs, albums. If we're going to do this touring thing, we're going to try to get a label, try to do it. And so it started off not very pretty.
We dug through the archives and found our first ever poster print design. As you can see, it's groundbreaking.
Feel free to laugh. It's not good.
I'm actually amazed that he actually kept that. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, we have to put this in here because it's just too funny.
Yeah.
We used to cut these out, go to the library and cut them out, pass them out through school, definitely at the mall.
Oh yeah, bring our CD player, headphones, try to get people to come to our show.
It was a hustle.
It was.
So, this was back in 2003 when the whole emo, screamo thing was out. You guys remember that?
Long swoopy hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it.
So this is kind of when we started transitioning into that. You can see some of it. It was, we were doing t-shirts for our friends' bands. We were very much influenced by that era, so it didn't really age that well, but sometimes you gotta crawl before you can walk. And so we were in high school, and we were fortunate to take a class in graphic design, and our teacher at the time, instead of us doing the actual
projects,
we were able to just do shirts and stuff for our friends. And
a lot of teachers probably wouldn't be cool with that, but we would tell her, like, well, look, like we're trying to do stuff for bands that we want to go on the road with or just get connected to. And she was like, well, as long as you make that assignment, then that's totally A-okay with us. And we'd stay after school probably until like 6 o'clock, to where they pretty much force us to leave the building because we would just get so in the zone working with the latest programs and all that stuff. So we were super fortunate to kind of get a little head start and have a graphic design course that we could start exploring, and that's what she allowed us to do. So that ended up turning into doing some album covers. We started experimenting with photography, lots of graphic design, doodling, just exploring really. And so what that ended up entailing is, after doing our bands and our friends' bands, it started we started kind of getting like a word of mouth of our friends telling their friends to have the Sprague brothers do it. And so that eventually turned into creating a company together called Pavlov Vigilance, which we started in 2007.
That's right, yeah. Back when we had more hair, that's for sure. This time we actually connected with our friend's tour manager. At the time, I think he was getting tired of managing bands, and he thought, well, maybe I could manage artists instead. Maybe there'd be a little bit, less ego involved.
Oh yeah, exactly. And we liked the idea too, just because, you know, that's exactly the network we were looking to get more into and involved with, the music industry. And he was it seemed like a win-win situation for us, in which it was. So partnering up with him, we sort of just went out the gates firing and started getting some really cool projects for, you know, some bands, Cage the Elephant, lots of different styles of music, which was great for us to kind of explore and see what that was like, seeing different fan bases and what they like to wear. And so there was a lot of discovery there.
Exactly. At this time, we were living together in an apartment in Bedford, and our sleep schedule was totally messed up. Like, we'd work till 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning sometimes, just enough time until the donut shop opened. Then we'd go pick up some donuts
And pass out.
And then do it all over again the next day. It was literally, there wasn't like a project we said no to. We did everything from these crazy types of people to Bieber fans to everything. But it was cool because we were able to like kind of analyze what other fan bases and other demographics would wear, even that time. Which I won't get into, but if you know what that is, then I'm sorry. So yeah, we were starting to kind of expand our style a little bit more. As you can see, we're getting a lot bigger bands now. It was kind of crazy. It just kept going. We ended up starting becoming known as like the merch guys at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. And being able to do all these different styles, it kind of helped us figure out what we liked to do, what was something that was, you know, when you're exploring through and trying all these different mediums, you get to see what sticks and what doesn't. Yeah, to be able to do all these clients, and then I think this is probably 2 years into it.
Yeah, 2 years.
We land one of our dream clients growing up as a kid.
Absolutely.
Listening to.
I'm curious if anyone would want to take a guess on who that is. Anyone?
Well, give him a hand.
Oh, okay. This guy, he survived the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. I mean, he's pretty well known in pop.
Known for his
dance moves. He's
dance
got
moves.
dance moves. There we go.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you.
Good one.
Yeah, we landed Michael Jackson. That was absolutely like crazy moment for us because it kind of went all full circle at that point. We did all these bands and we landed Michael Jackson in, and then for us was just like, is this it? You know, like.
Yeah, he was at the time he was getting ready for his O2 Arena shows where they did 50 dates in London. So they reached out to us to do probably something like 20 designs. So it was very exciting for us because we got to kind of relive some of those childhood memories with our father and just really get into it. And it was great. We had a lot of approvals from him, which he specifically picked out through emails, and so that was really cool to see.
And it got, after a month of it being approved and they're sent off to production, Ryan and I are it's on a Friday or something, and we're sitting at Jason's Deli having a sandwich, and I'm looking up at the screen, and there's a TV up in there, and I see footage of this helicopter flying over this house, and underneath it said breaking news. Like Michael Jackson's body is like found dead or something. It was brutal. And we were both just thinking like, oh my God, like.
What was all those months of work and getting excited about,
and not to mention, my dream of meeting him is totally gone. I didn't get to meet him. But yeah, so this is the moment when we were like, okay, what's next? After the dust kind of settled, they ended up turning out those shirts into collectible items, and they were being sold through Target, Walmart, and some other cool retail stores. So.
Yeah, and that really was a big segue into working with retail, because the first section, we were doing a lot of touring bands that would go on tour, and so that's where you'd have to think, okay, what are these people buying and all that stuff. And then later on, we were going into the retail, and that just kind of opened up another segue of artists, which, as you can see, the Beatles, Grant mentioned Paul McCartney, lots of classic, awesome stuff. And I think...
Yeah, at that point we did something like 500 bands. It was actually ridiculous. Like, you'd turn on the radio and almost any band that would be playing, you're like, oh, we didn't work for them. Oh, that's cool. But no one knew who we were. So this is where we were kind of like starting to feel like, I remember like we were at the airport one time, and there was like a guy like wearing one of Ryan's t-shirts. And I poke Ryan, I'm like, dude, that guy's wearing your Billy Joel shirt. And he's like, what? I'm like, let's go take a picture. So I went up to him, and he's like looking at me like, who are these people?
Yeah, and I was like, well, hey, that's a design idea. He's like, oh, well, can I get a picture with you? And I was like, what? That's crazy.
And that's when, we kind of realized, like, wait a second, like, maybe we should be getting some credit here,
Yeah, I mean, it kind of gave us a perspective of realizing, like, with all the work that we've created, no one really knows who we are. I mean, the artist is kind of left behind all this work. And so it kind of made us think how to repivot what our next step was. And that was to think about how can we brand ourselves as an artist rather than just branding other bands. Because at the time, we were sort of a chameleon, having to change styles to work with, all these different genres. And so while it was a pleasure and an amazing experience to work through all those different artists, at the same time, we had that realization. It was like, well, let's pivot and try to see what this next step is in exploring in ourselves and our identity.
That's right, yeah. So, at that moment, kind of going through an identity crisis. Ryan and I had been doing the same thing together for almost 27 years at that time. I don't know, a lot of twins kind of go through this where they kind of attach their personality to their brother. And so I did what any sane 27-year-old does, is sell his car, sell his music equipment, do everything, and move to Amsterdam. And this is kind of where the things kind of changed for me as a person and my own identity. I start to embrace the unknown. And for here, I'm going to festivals, and embarking on some extracurricular activities, finding myself, enjoying the nice lekker Nederlands kaas and the bitterballen. That's a delicacy there. And this is another delicacy there. It's called the herring. I don't know if you all are familiar with this.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Oh, okay. I'm not a big fan. I'll tell you why.
I still buy them, and my husband doesn't even want to be around.
So this specific delicacy called the herring, in the Netherlands, they do this weird action where you grab it and you stick it over your mouth and kind of like deep throat it. It's a very weird thing, but it's a culture there. And I was like, oh, I gotta try this. So I was on a date at the beach, and this lady I was with, she's like, hey Calvin, go try the herring. And of course I'm saying yes to everything. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But before I do it, can we like get a video of it, and just so I can send it to my friends back at home? They'll find it so funny. So I'll just let the video.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Before you know it, like I'm not wanting to do this at all, but I'll do it. He takes everything. I didn't even get to taste the herring. It's kind of traumatic, to be honest. It happens all so fast. So after this happened, I'm like shocked, but I went ahead and tried it again, and I wasn't a big fan of it, by the way. But so I posted it on my Instagram, sent it to my friends. They're all laughing and stuff. So the next day, I wake up to my phone just blowing up. They're like, Calvin, you're on Dumpert. And if you don't know what Dumpert is, you don't want to be on Dumpert. It's one of those websites that, usually it's laughing at your expense, basically. Little did I know I I made a viral video.
Yeah, he got put on Thug Life. If you guys seen that before?
Yeah, I got like CNN calling, MTV, Tosh.0 played it. Clearly my most proudest moment.
Yeah, it's fan art too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to be known for, by the way. I wanted to be known for a designer, but hey.
Hey, it worked out though, because through all those like royalties, you were able to pay for a trip to fly me out there.
Yeah, Ryan came to visit me like the next summer, so.
So we do thank that seagull in a little bit,
Exactly. I'm glad there's no seagulls here. So here I am in Amsterdam. I'm enjoying the culture, and this is when I start to kind of figure out, like, I'm traveling, I'm getting inspired by all the Art Deco buildings, the architecture, beautiful stained glass windows. And so at this time, I'm still doing stuff with Ryan for Pavlov, but I'm slowly transitioning into more personal work, just by stuff I'm being surrounded by. And so, yeah, at this time, I'm actually really enjoying making art again, and it was fun kind of creating a style. And I didn't know it at the time, but yeah, I was slowly building up and making a style for myself. So one summer, my friend was making like a music festival there, and they needed some graphics for their banner behind the stage. And they approached me. He's like, Calvin, I really like what you're doing. Could you do something for us? And I didn't have any clients there at the time, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to. And we ended up making this pretty cool facade with the Amsterdam buildings and the dance culture, cycling, everything that's revolved around Amsterdam. And it was cool. They used it and they printed it, and I published it on a few social media websites. And a couple months later, I get an email from the art director of Target, and he sees this and he's asked me to create something for them based in this style, which was really really awesome. I didn't know it was possible at the time, and so we ended up making these really cool murals based off that personal work that I was making. So all of it kind of led to, making personal work for myself, then making stuff for my friends, and then all of a sudden Target's hitting me up to do something for them in that style, which was cool. It was one mural, and then eventually it came into another mural, and now there's like, I don't know.
It's all over the U.S.
Yeah.
And we definitely, I think some of this is in Dallas as well.
I think so, yeah.
You can see some of the art in there.
I think it's off like 75. I think there's a Target there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm new. I'm still kind of new here again, so bear with me. But yeah, so yeah, I'd like to talk about why personal work matters for us.
Exactly, and the Calvin's great example of creating the work that you want to get paid for. There's so much value to that. As we were kind of trying to get ourselves a little bit out of the stuck grind of being a chameleon, doing all these different designs for other people. Calvin started doing those personal pieces that brought in some work that he enjoyed doing. And when I saw that, it was really inspiring for me too, because I was like, well, gosh, I kind of want to do that too. I think that would be a really cool thing to explore. And so, I started just maybe saving maybe like 30 minutes to an hour every morning, just working on like a little sketch or doodle, just little things like that, just where I could put focus and start making that shift. And so I started creating, just little spot illustrations here, in the mornings. Actually, this was all happening when I was working here at the Wax Space. And it was a lot of fun. Even though I still had client work that I had to get to, this isn't something that, doing personal work, a lot of times you have to find that time to do it. So, you can't just really, if you're able to, stop work completely to do it, that's great. But if you don't, just try to make an hour a day or maybe 30 minutes or maybe sometime over the weekend to start focusing on your personal voice. And so that's what I did. I did that for a few months, and doing these spot illustrations ended up landing me Microsoft, and it was really cool. They wanted this library of 200 illustrations to use for PowerPoint illustrations, so clients can put on their PowerPoint presentations, and that was a great reward to see through what investing into personal work can do for you.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're doing the personal work, you're not doing it for any purpose than just making it for yourself. I mean, I think like once you start thinking about who's it going to be for or what's it, then you're already putting borders on it. Like just go out there and just make art for the fun of it.
Yeah, exactly. The whole purpose is to explore. Like Calvin said, don't put yourself in a box. Clients will already do that, so no need to put yourself in one. And not everything is going to be great either. Realize that. Along the way, you're going to find some things that are some really cool nuggets that you can carry over into the next piece. Some pieces might not be that great, but it's the act of doing it. You will eventually be rewarded through that. And so here's another example of a piece where I kind of wanted to explore a little bit more into shading and color blocking. Wanted to just do a one-off piece just for fun, and this was a really neat experience. After doing this one piece, I really didn't have any sort of expectation. I just had a lot of fun doing it, and a few months later, I get an email. You can show this. Technically, I can't really put this on my website or show this because that's just Apple rules, but I could show you guys. And so, that landed this job just based off of one personal piece. And so
what I like about that one too is that it kind of goes away from your other ways that you were doing your other work. Like you don't always have to do the same thing every time. Like also experiment. And Ryan was doing a lot of cool gradient textures, and they ended up liking that one. That was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there was a part where I was talking to Calvin. I was like, I know this doesn't really fit a lot of the things that I'm doing here, but this is just kind of this one's for me, and I just enjoy doing it. And so no expectations out of it, and have that be said to always just kind of explore and play around. Don't put borders. That also ended up turning into, they opened up a store in Miami, just opened up here a few months ago. So we did a wall. I think the next slide has.
I think the next one is
yeah, a little bit more of the interior, but that was a really fun experience. And then
let's rewind like a couple of years ago, in 2023. I'm still living in the Netherlands, and I'm actually living in Rotterdam now, but really nice city if you haven't been there. Anyways, so it's 2023. My brother just finished branding a really cool festival in Paris, and it just so happened that it was my mother's birthday as well. So we flew out, our mom, Ryan and I both met up in Paris and just enjoyed this festival together. With seeing his artwork everywhere, it was a really magical moment for us. The cups to the signage to everything. It was an amazing experience. So, after a couple beers in, Ryan and I are getting pretty emotional, and we're just like, man, why aren't we doing this together? We had been going through a little bit of a rough patch that year, and I've been out there for almost 10 years, and I think it was about time for me to come home. It was a long time out there, and mostly I missed my family and missed you, so it was good to come back. So this is where we decided to make that connection and come back, and this is Ryan was telling me all about Tyler Station and what was going on here.
Yeah, exactly. During that time, I ran into this space here and really just fell in love with the energy and the culture that Wax Space has built here. And so coming into this space was very inspiring. Hearing Calvin just kind of like plant the seed at the time of potentially coming back, I was thinking, man, the first place I gotta show him is the wax space. Like, he's gotta meet the good people here. And so, also just all the different small businesses here, just the wonderful community that Oak Cliff Bishop Arts District has built over the years. I can't wait to show them.
It definitely changed since I was here 10 years ago. Very much, yeah. It's really nice. So yeah, Ryan, I come back here in August last year. I did it again. I sold everything, packed everything, got back. It was brutal, but I made it back, and I also joined Wax Space for a few months, and it was really lovely and really great community, and everyone was very, very welcoming. But we knew, like, for us, we really wanted our own studio, something that was more us and our personality. And at first we really wanted to be here at Tyler Station, right down at one of these vendors, but
there's a line to get in.
Yeah. So we did some searching, and we ended up landing at the Bishop Arts Co-op, which is a really awesome space. If you haven't been, it's right down Bishop Arts.
Davis.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Also, really great artists there as well, sharing studios. Angela's here. She's actually our property manager. So, we ended up here, and we ended up creating a pretty cool space together. And, we're excited.
Yeah, and some things that we're really looking forward to now teaming up. Now we don't have to say no to projects anymore because we're backlogged. We can now work together like we did in the very beginning. So, like to think now we have a little bit of our own identities after those times apart.
Yeah.
And now we can kind of just come full force together and potentially, we're talking about maybe doing a podcast at some point. We can really kind of lock in on the creative industry, and then also dive in more into motion graphics animation, which is something that we've really been enjoying this past few months.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, and that should do it. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, happy to answer.
Yeah, any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
You guys do beautiful work, but still, it's not easy to get in front of some of the clients. Do you have an agent of any kind, or have you ever done that?
Yes, absolutely. So agent's a big part of helping. I'd say to get your work in front of clients, that's kind of been more of just word of mouth and
Just over the years on social media and all that, but
social media presence.
the agent definitely helps with the pricing and the usage rights and all the contract stuff, when we can mostly focus on just the art,
Yeah, I mean, that's the business and the creative is two separate jobs. And what I ended up realizing, because in the beginning, we tried to do both, and it was very taxing trying to produce your best work when you're also having to deal with emails. Now, there are people who can do that. They decide to do it first thing in the morning, and then they jump to it, and they come back. But it is a little nice when you have someone who is a much better professional and that business sort of stuff, and know how to quote usage rights and all those kind of things when it comes to big clients like that. And so that's a very helpful tip once you start getting your work in front of bigger clients like that. Yeah, go ahead.
So I would like to know where either one of you gets your inspiration from, because there have to be certain things that trigger whatever it is that you're doing.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. I mean,
I would say
where to begin? Like,
loved it's like all the aesthetic of Beatles art from like 70s, 80s. Love the warm colors and shapes. That's always kind of been very inspiring. Love geometry. Something probably with my brain. Just loves puzzles and things that kind of move together. What about you, Cal?
yeah, I'd say also, definitely those early 70s stuff. the early advertisements and illustrations in the 70s were really inspiring, as well as traveling and architecture for me, and yeah, stained glass windows, beautiful. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You guys are obviously both very individually talented, so what is the collaborative process when you approach the projects? Like, do you guys have clear, Alvin does this, Ryan does this, or is it always like...
That's a good question. Now we are both having our own agent, and we both have our own portfolio. So when a client comes and approaches us, they'll usually approach one of us, not both, but anytime there's a project that we're, slammed on, for instance, if Ryan just takes care of the actual illustration and concept and development, if he needs help with animation or something, maybe I'll come in there and help, and vice versa,
Yeah, so he helped out with the Apple animation because there was just so much that we had to do with a very short deadline. That's the tricky part about these clients when they come towards you, Ideally, it's usually not the best sort of timeline. Everyone's running behind, and so you're always kind of doing the job of playing catch up for them. And so having that extra hand to help once that concept development has been created is a huge help. So
definitely. Oh, okay, great.
We got time for maybe 2 more questions. Anyone else? Okay, well, let's give it up for Ryan and Calvin.
Thank you. Oh, we also have some free posters and stickers and postcards back there if you want.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Hidden City. We hope you discovered something about Oak Cliff that you didn't know. If you enjoyed the show, I hope you subscribe to it on YouTube and then follow us on any of the podcasting platforms. Also, if you enjoyed it, please share with a friend, and thanks so much for tuning in.